What is happening, everybody? Today we are going to go over Jarvan. If you're up to date with all the spoilers, then you're seeing that Mobalytics is putting cards out every single day. And today we got Jarvan and a few other Demacia support cards. Super fun stuff here. I'm really excited about it. We also got Renekton and Shurima cards. I didn't do a video for that because I did an article for it, so I'll put that in the description if you're interested. Fully broke down all the Renekton and Shurima cards we've seen so far. Even gave some ratings for those cards. So if you're interested in that, make sure to click that article out below and, tell me what you think. Tell me if my ratings are crazy. But for today, like I said, we got Jarvan. So shout out to Cosmic Plays again for this sweet image. And let's dive right in. We got a Demacia champion, Jarvan. He is a 6-drop, 5/3 with barrier. When you attack, you can pay his cost to summon him, challenging the strongest enemy unit. So essentially, when you attack, if you have 6 unit mana, he will get summoned from your hand, and he will automatically challenge the strongest enemy unit. And he will be into the attack phase as well, so he'll go into combat. He also has barrier, so you will summon their strongest, you'll challenge their strongest unit, have a 5/3 unit with barrier if you have 6 mana. So you can do this on open attack. So as soon as the token gets passed to you, your turn happens, you can instantly attack and get another unit out on the attack. Super strong ability there. He levels up when allies have survived 4+ strikes from enemy blockers. So he has to be on the board, be on offense, and as opponents are blocking, if our allies are surviving, he'll get ticks up to level. When he does level, he absolutely goes insane. He at the round start, he creates a Cataclysm every single round. In your hand. It's a fleeting Cataclysm. He also, whenever he challenges an enemy, you give him barrier. So essentially, when he does perform a challenge, he can just instantly give himself barrier. Kind of like a Lee Sin vibe here with the challenging and barrier, but, he's a little bit different where he keeps popping out from your hand, and also, he kind of is just a self-officiating. All you need to do is give him challenge or some way, and he can do that. Cataclysm is pretty insane. He creates a fleeting one. Also, it is his champion spell as well. So his champion spell is Cataclysm, and he creates one for free once he's leveled up. Cataclysm is a 3-drop slow spell that says essentially an ally starts a free attack challenging an enemy. So you choose an ally and you choose an enemy, kind of like how single combat works. That ally will then go into combat and just challenge that opponent, that one enemy that you selected in combat. Which is pretty insane. Really, really strong when you do have Scout on the unit that you're choosing, because say it is your opponent's turn, you can use this on one of your Scout units, target an enemy unit, your Scout unit goes into combat, he will then attack and challenge out whatever unit you selected, but he will be the only unit in combat which will trigger Scout, and then you'll get an additional attack now on your opponent's turn, and you have a full attack where you can send as much as you want. Pretty insane. Obviously has really good functionality with Jarvan, but also just really solid spell. It's definitely like a weird pursuit, and it's very, very solid. Another really good semi-rally or attack mechanic for Demacia. So Jarvan he's intimidating. He's very, very solid. I'm going to jump down to the bottom right here to talk about his dad, King Jarvan III. He is a 7-drop 3/6. He has Tough printed. When he's summoned, you draw Jarvan IV, so that's really great. It's kind of like the boat mechanic they had in Rising Tides. All the boats essentially would draw back the champions when you played them. Leviathan, the Task Raider, all those things. So he has that kind of vibe. He essentially draws Jarvan on play, or on summon. If he's already in play, so if you already have Jarvan out, instead of drawing him, you give allies Challenger and Scout just this round. That's an insane effect. You give them Challenger and you give them Scout. Obviously, Jarvan doesn't have any of those keywords already. And instead of this just saying if he's already in play, you just give Jarvan Challenger and Scout. You give your entire board Scout and Challenger. An extremely powerful combination of keywords, because essentially you can pick and choose who you're striking into, and you can do it twice. He's pretty insane. Yeah, King Jarvan is legit. His stats are obviously extremely lacking. 3/6 for a 7-drop is pretty awful, but a search engine for a free Jarvan, really solid, especially you play him on defense, passes to your turn, you can automatically open attack and have the mana to summon Jarvan as you attack. That's pretty cool. But on top of that, if you already do have Jarvan in hand, that's really the moneymaker there. I wanted to talk about him real quick because without talking about King Jarvan III, we're not getting the full picture of Jarvan himself, what that champion can actually accomplish. And it's a lot. It seems like it's a lot. He seems really, really strong. He obviously has weak stats, but overall, both cards, there's a lot of power there. So I'm really excited to see how they play out. Let's go through the other Demacia cards they released today, too, because they didn't just leave us with that. They left us with a bit more. So we have another 1-drop 2/2 in Demacia. So Cytheria now has a friend. This Squire is when summoned, if you behold an elite, create a Tattered Banner in hand. A Tattered Banner, right to the right, is a burst spell, 1-cost spell. It says the next time you summon an ally this round, you grant it Challenger. So Cytheria's got a friend. This unit is an elite, and it is important to say, I didn't even mention that, but Jarvan and Jarvan III, King Jarvan, are both elite units as well. So there's a lot of elite synergy here. We've already seen a decent amount of elite synergy in the base game, and then they added a little bit more, and then they added For the Fallen recently, and that card's pretty spicy. So now we're getting a little bit more. This card essentially is if you behold an elite, you get this card that essentially can burst speed, give an ally Challenger for the round, the next one that you summon, not an ally that's already on the board. So that's really powerful with very particular units. We've already seen the access to Challenger for Demacia, pretty, actually there a lot, but on top of that, we've seen it really excel in Grand Plaza, right? Grand Plaza has seen a ton of play that's been really solid, so more access to Challenger, especially in a 1-drop that's just creating this card. It's super solid 1-drop. Now, Demacia has two 1-drops that are both 2/2s. Super solid, and they're both Squires, which is cool. We have a 1-drop slow spell, Battlefield Prowess. It's just a slow spell that just grants an ally +1/+1 for 1 mana. It doesn't look that exciting, but a slow spell that is, a slow spell obviously can't be used in combat, so it's a little bit lacking there. And we already have the Radiant Strike, the +1/+1 for the round at burst speed, but this is a grant, so there's something to be said here. Granting +1/+1 is a solid buff. Obviously, Bannerman granting your whole board +1/+1 is really powerful. I'm not sure this is going to find any main decking, meta-defining options here. It's just a kind of a really slow, just a minor buff for 1 mana, and it's just going to eat a deck slot, which is, when there's more and more cards getting added, we have less and less room for cards like this, but still, it's nothing to laugh at. A buff is very important. It can be very important for a lot of different things. So it's an interesting, spell to get, to Demacia. It makes sense that they're getting it, but don't think it's going to see a whole lot of play. We got another 2-drop, another elite 2-drop, which is great. It's the Honored Lord. The first time he challenges an enemy, give him barrier this round. Really good. I mean, we just saw the other Squire have access to give him Challenger, and also, we have things like Grand Plaza as well. So if you can play this unit on curve like that, you're not on curve, but after Grand Plaza is already out, you can have a barriered Challenger unit, and that's really solid, right? I mean, Demacia's core play is playing the Fleet Feather Tracker and then the Bright Steel Protector, right? That's one of the core 1-2 combos in the game, and this guy essentially can kind of do a challenge with barrier with 3 attack. You just need a couple other cards to make it, or a couple other options that can give him Challenger. But if you're running Grand Plaza, I think you definitely want to run this guy. He's super solid. And then also, if you're just running an elite deck, he very well might find a spot in that, if there's more access to Challenger for that, or you're just running Grand Plaza. We have another slow spell, Golden Aegis. It's a 4-cost slow spell. Give an ally barrier this round, and you rally. So this is an interesting one. You have another rally mechanic. So you have Pursuit, Relentless Pursuit, which will rally for 3. You have the Cataclysm, which is not a real rally, but with scouts it can be, because you can send a scout out to combat, which is cool. And now here you just have give an ally barrier, and then you rally, which is super solid. It definitely could see play over Relentless Pursuit, just because that barrier could be massive for a few different reasons, a few different decks in particular. So I think it's super reasonable. I actually like the option because now you have multiple rallying effects, obviously, in Demacia, but this one, you kind of have to play a little game here and say, okay, do I want to spend that 1 extra mana, or will I have that 1 extra mana in certain situations to be able to get that bonus barrier? And with all the challenging we're seeing in these cards, let alone also we just got Grand Plaza last set, barrier, the worth of barrier goes really, really high compared to, if there was no Grand Plaza. So Golden Aegis it's pretty legit, I think it'll see play in a certain decks. I don't think it's going to auto-replace Relentless Pursuit or anything like that, but it is pretty solid. We have the 4-drop Gallant Rider. He's a 4/4 as well. The first time I challenge an enemy, transfer me into the Vanguard Cavalry. The Vanguard Cavalry is a 5-drop, 5/5 with tough. He's in the base set. So essentially, you play a 4-drop. He's also an elite, that one. This guy is an elite here at a 4/4. When he does challenge, he doesn't have it, but if you give him Challenger, like we were just talking about, there's multiple ways, the Tattered Banner, the Grand Plaza, and even more than that as well. When he does challenge him, he actually like kind of has like his mini own little level up cinematic, which is kind of cool. He essentially is the guy, a knight on a horse. He will level up to the Vanguard Cavalry there, who will be a 5/5 with tough. So you'll get a 4-drop 4/4, and he will level up. It's pretty solid because you transform him into that. So if my understanding is correct, if you do have, say, Grand Plaza on curve, you play this as a 4/4, he becomes a 5/5 and attacks. He challenges something out. He'll transform right then before the attack actually happens. He'll gain tough and he'll be a 5/5. So he'll take a little bit less damage back, which is kind of cool. And he'll be an elite still, obviously. Interesting card. We got to see where the elite deck winds up and what it actually has room for. But super interesting card. I really like the idea of this. I think it's just really unique. And I love to see some elite support. I mean, there's a lot of here to take in, but there's a lot of elites. The only unit that's not an elite is the Penitent Squire, and its ability has to be hold an elite. So there is clear elite synergy they are pushing here, and I'm here for it. I'm really excited. Guys, I'll be breaking down videos here pretty much throughout the whole release season and writing articles as well as talking about it on our podcast, of course. So if you're new to the channel, please leave a like, leave a subscription, leave a comment. Help us out. Help us grow. We have big goals. We're trying to do a lot of stuff here. So we have some pretty cool interviews coming up. We're excited, and we hope you've been liking those as of late. And until next time, I'll catch you soon. See ya.